for Adam. And if you could use the microphone to ask questions, and that can get on the video tape as well.
Just from our perspective, we were talking with some of the climate meteorologists at Environment Canada. They're quite concerned about the impacts of all of this on the environment. No doubt there's been some correlation. We'll get more and more, frequent bad weather and coastal erosion and things of that nature that will affect our coastline.
Yes, I can talk a bit about Prince Edward Island. I mean, we seem to have it's not even a trifecta, it's a senkfecta. It's, we got sea level rise is happening, right? And it appears that it's actually the Antarctic ice melting that's influencing the sea level rises more here in the northern hemisphere. That's coming out in the IPCC. You can go online, that there's the draft reports are out about that one. Has to do with the gravity, and there's more land surface in the northern hemisphere that's pulling the water further up north. We're kind of made out of sandstone here, so there's not much natural defense to it. We're getting crustal subsidence or falling, so our land is actually sinking after the glaciers retreated. We are getting increased storminess, so 1 in 100 storms are now being upgraded. It's not going ridiculous, but it's now the 1 in 80 year storm. And the what's the fifth point? But yeah, this to me the largest change is that we're seeing climate disturbance happening. And that usually tells you that there's going to be some type of climate regime shift. Like, it's just very unpredictable. You don't know one season to the next. And depending if the variability is shifting in climate extremes, or how that's shifting, you can sometimes get even more extreme heat as well as more extreme cold at the same time. So, yeah, it's the additional work to these rather benign averages that I've shown you. I mean, 3 degrees is pretty incredibly ridiculous. I mean, over the last 100 years in PEI, we've only seen an increase of 1 degree Celsius. Now, we've gone through some warming and colder periods during that time. And again, it's hard to compare because you got 100 years of record. But if you're saying that you're going to get another 3.5 degrees, this is nothing what we've been seeing. And farmers are screaming because, we go through the worst drought of a decade last summer here on PEI. That's followed by the wettest month in September in recorded history. So in the last 150 years, we've never had as much rainfall in 1 month recorded before. So this type of extremes, and from one to the other, at least in the scientific record that I see, is unprecedented. It's not something. Now, it could just be a couple of years of disturbance, but what frightens me most is how it might move into a new climate regime shift. It might, and we're not sure where that might go to.
I'm going to try again. With Adam, do you know anybody out there in the IPC world or elsewhere who has a grip on the equilibration of atmospheric CO2 and acidity and ocean acidity? Because we know that as CO2 levels rise, the ocean is absorbing that, turns into carbonic acid. pH levels are getting the ocean is fairly well buffered, but we have sort of disturbing trends, certainly in the Gulf of St. Lawrence around the city.
Yeah, that's a good. There is some work. There is some coming out in the IPCC about this, and what it seems. It makes it all the more frightening because we understand the oceans are so huge and they have this huge buffering capacity. Yet at the same time, you're seeing that acidity level increase at decrease at, or pH level decrease at levels that I just wouldn't really expect. I've never really investigated looking at seeing, how many places they're actually measuring so that you get a good sense of it. But certainly there's some work there in the IPCC. I'll pull it out for you since you've asked me that same question twice. And I haven't answered either time. But yeah, there's some work in the, I've seen in the draft reports that they're talking a bit more about that. But I'm not sure who the scientist is who's working on it or at least reporting it to the IPCC or what they're relying on.
What I would really be interested in seeing is the kind of correlation between this 2-degree or 4-degree temperature rise and the parts per million of CO2 that's driving that, and the projected equilibration of CO2 in water.
We have the first two, and I have a presentation, and well, I think I showed as well what the relationship between the atmospheric concentration of CO2 and the temperature changes. But I have not seen that then subsequently to acidity, ocean acidity. But I will look.
The chemical relationship, the problem is that CO2 and carbonate are utilized by plants.
Yeah.
That's what you can't predict. So in fact, I wonder how during the period when it was 3,000 ppm on Earth, all the mollusks disappeared. Well, they evolved during that period. So what was the balance there of pH that allowed that to happen? So.
Well, the piece that puzzled and disturbed me when I first read the DFO reports, 2010 and 2013, that lay out the really large increase in acidity in the Gulf of St. Lawrence, larger than in the wider ocean. I went looking at, archaeological evidence of, past. I mean, the ocean has been more acidic in the past, and I found, and what the articles that I found told me was the last major mass extinction event in marine ecosystems coincided with one of those had to do with acidification of the oceans, and the pH level was not far below 8. It was like 7.8 or 9, and we have areas of the Gulf of St. Lawrence that are already there. I'd have to go back and have a look. That it was a major marine extinction event that was correlated with acidity, and the pH levels weren't that far off where we're heading right now.
Well, there's Washington State has got a whole action plan on ocean acidification, and their issue there is that they get upwelling of acidic deep water up onto the shelf during certain meteorological situations, and they're already starting looking at planning related to their oyster and shellfish industries in there and how they're going to be able to adapt to those kinds of things. And that certainly would seem to me that might be a concern here in PEI too, since the mussel and oyster industries are such a significant economic engine. And there is a paper on the
Bay is already in public, and so they are already registering and documenting lack of recruitment. Because it's the tiny, just the newly settled spat that get eroded away by these fairly subtle differences in pH.
Okay, any other questions for Adam? Thank you, Adam, so much for taking the time to be with us and for this maybe eye-opening talk.